So we have 9 to 15 topic. Yung Hyper-V already discussed before creating this one, right? So nag-Hyper-V. So we have technically two left, DHCP and DNS. So DHCP implementation, and then we're gonna do failover load balancing, and then troubleshooting, and then DNS implementation, failover balancing, then DNS troubleshooting. No? Okay, so dito, DHCP. So DHCP, normally they're the one responsible for sending dynamic IP address. Okay, so what's happening in the background? So nagkakaroon ng DORA. DORA, D-O-R-A. So the moment you power on your client, no? So let's say this is your laptop, it will send a protocol called the DHCP Discover. So nagbo-broadcast yan na naghanap ng IP. Then yung DHCP server is broadcasting IP, DHCP protocol. So he will send an offer. And then the client sees that offer and he will request that IP address. Okay. If that IP address is available, he will send it to the client and acknowledge na you want to use this IP address. Okay. So lease renewal will be attempted after 50%. Let's say 10 days ang leasing. So on the 5th day, magre-renew ka na. Okay? If you miss the renewal kasi naka-off yung laptop, there will be a second attempt on the 87.5%. No? To install Windows DHCP, you can type the command and add Windows feature. DHCP include management tools, napakasimple. No? Or you can install in admin roles. No? Or you can push post-install configuration wizard. And then if you want to create a group for DHCP group, so add DHCP server group, DHCP server name. So as of now, wala tayong DHCP sa server 1. We can install DHCP on the server 1, and at the same time server 2. Okay, add roles. Okay, so we're gonna select DHCP. Okay, and then that's all. Okay, restart the server just in case needed. Install DHCP. Okay, so same process in here, but I'm gonna be using PowerShell. So the command is install Windows feature. We want to install DHCP, include management tools. Okay, so they're doing installation of DHCP. This one is via GUI, no, via Wizard, and this one is using PowerShell. Tingnan natin kung sino mas mabilis. Let's see who is the fastest. All right. PowerShell is, of course, will be the fastest if you're installing DHCP to let's say 10 or more servers. No? You can just create your own script using invoke command. Remember kanina nag-invoke command ako? Okay, yeah, tingnan natin. Race, it's a 30%. This is 60%. 46%. Configure DHCP option. Option 1 is a subnet mask. Option 3, how many gateway you would like to specify. Let's say you have an application which run on 3 tier, database tier, web tier, and middle tier. So you want to give them 3 gateways. So you can do it in option code number 3. And if you want to specify 2 DNS, primary, secondary DNS, you have to enable option code 6. So DHCP scopes contains the name, description of the scope, and the range. You can do PowerShell management by adding DHCP server scope, get DHCP. So I have a script created for that. So if you want to perform the scripting for DHCP, you just go open up the file. No, check if DHCP is installed. Just run this one, get Windows feature. If not installed, you can do so, install using this feature. And if you want to create security group, this one. If you want to restart the service, restart service. If you want to verify, so the command is get. If you want to create a subnet, add DHCP server, name marketing, start range, blah, 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 blah. And that will be activated. Authorization, ayan, demonstration. I'm already thank you. I'm already doing demonstration. So, ayan, tapos na. Okay. DHCP, blah, 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 blah. So dito, sabi dito, complete DHCP configuration. So this is the post installation task. All you need to do is commit and that DHCP will be authorized. Authorized. So this one, di pa authorized. Okay, so close. To verify again, if you want to make sure na DHCP is working properly, you have to go to server manager. Punta yung server manager. Make sure walang task dito. If you can see, merong flag task. So may pending action. So you need to authorize. So complete DHCP configuration. Next, all you need to do is commit. Commit using domain account. Committed na siya. So pareho na siya may DHCP. So if you go DHCP management, ayun, DHCP, then dito rin meron din DHCP. DHCP, come on, DHCP. Yeah, yan. Okay. Which lead us to our next slide. So that was 8. And then, nasa yung slide ka? 8 slide 9 pala yun. Slide 10 na tayo. So we're gonna go to module 10. I think extended tayo na. We're supposed to finish 3 p.m. Pero bibilisan ko na lang. Siguro mga 4 p.m. So I think we're gonna finish by 4 p.m. Additional 1 hour. If that's okay. If you have an appointment, you can leave. Kasi everything has been recorded. Nasa YouTube na lahat. Pero gusto ko muna mag-pictorial tayo bago umalis yung iba. Ha?
Sir?
Yeah, go ahead.
Hindi ko mapalitan paano mapalitan picture dito sa Zoom.
Sa Zoom, ako rin eh. Anong ginagawa mo? Sino ito? Paano mapalitan dito?
Hindi ko mapalitan yung picture ko.
Ako din eh. Hindi ko ma-display yung cascaded na picture. Kanina ko pa pinag-aaralan. Paano pag gawin yun?
Sa web po yata yun, sir.
Sa web yata yun. Yeah, sa web. Kasi gusto kong magkaroon ng class picture. Asan na yung class picture natin? Yun nandun lahat. Kanina ko pa hinahanap. Hindi ko makita. Anyway, tapusin ko to. Siguro, dapat mag-stop sharing ako. After stop sharing, doon lang mag-appear yung mga mukha natin. No? Sige, tapusin ko lang itong module na to. So, module 10, module 9 pala. Sandali. Ay, 10 na pala. Failover and load balancing is a very simple concept. When you say failover, the DHCP service will be moved to the next healthy host. Okay, you can also do clustering, pero you need more than 2. So totally different ang clustering sa failover. Clustering composed of 2 or more DHCP server. Split scope involves 2 DHCP server with non-overlapping scope, meaning he's serving 2 different subnet, serving 2 different groups. Let's say the first subnet is 192.168. Then the other one is 10.0.0.0. Totally different. Okay? Pero you're using single DHCP server. Okay? So this is the concept. DHCP cluster, you need the shared storage. So you can store the database. Okay? Sa split scope naman, totally different. From that 1 to 150, yung server B naman, from succeeding IP 151 to 254. Hindi yan load balancing. It's called split scope. So they're sharing the same subnet na 192.162, 192.168.0 to the 2 different servers. Okay? For better performance, no? For faster assignment of IP address. Okay, sa DHCP failover, it will create a partnership between server 1 and server 2. And then lease information will be replicated sa partner. And you can configure load balancing or hot standby on 2 different occasions. Hindi pwedeng sabay. Okay? Other config, there's a maximum client lead time, meaning how long before mag-failover. No? And auto state switchover, kailan babalik? When will it go back to the original server? And then we're going to be using a password for message authentication. Okay, thank you. So I'm going to make a demonstration for project number 10. Okay, so we have DHCP. Remember, we have DHCP. Okay. So I'm gonna create IPv4 scope. Right click, new scope. Let's say scope 192. Okay. And the starting IP is 192. 192.168. Ano ba yun? 1 ba yun? What? And then, tama, 1. Nalito. From 150, sabihin natin, from 100, no? 1 to 150. Okay? So this will serve as 50 IP addresses /24. Okay, subnet mask /24. And then starting for the exclusion, we want to exclude 1 hanggang 150 kasi, di ba? 1.140, we want to exclude up to the 150. So 10 IP address will be excluded at exclusion. So we can assign this one statically. No? And then least time 8 days by default. You want to activate the scope? Yes. And then it's asking for router. So sa gateway, I would like which gateway I should be going. Okay, gateway 1. So for 3-tier, like you may have database, you can specify another gateway if you want to. No? Pero wag na, malilito na yung computer. So only 1. Okay, server name, DNS has been auto-detected. He identified that server 1 is the DNS. Okay. For Windows 7, you have to specify Win server. Win server is a DNS server equivalent sa pre-Windows 2012. No? 192.168.1. Wait, ba't ako nagawa 192? 10 pala. 10 ulitin ko, mali scope ko, di ba? 10.00. Ito ako dun. So take two. I'm gonna create another scope. Scope 10.1.1, di ba? Di ba? Right. Yan ang scope natin eh. 10.1.1. 100. Ending 10.1.1. 200. Sige, 200. So I can assign 200 IP addresses. Then the static starting from 190 to 200. So we can assign a static IP to server we want to. And then the gateway, of course, 10.1.1, diba? DNS has been detected automatically. For wins, you have to specify sino yung win server, which is .21. Siya din yung win server. Okay? To resolve hostname to IP. Yun ang meaning ng wins. Ano? Activate the scope. Okay? So we have a scope 10.1.1.1. So we created the address pool from 100 to 190. Okay? So if I'm going to list the IP address, what will be the first IP address? We can list. Anybody?
101.
100.
100 kasi that's the one we specify, 100.
Okay, 100.
Okay, so to prove that theory, let's see if we can get 100. So this is static. This is assigned statically. So meron dito static IPs. Let's go to control panel. PowerShell. Matulong boss ng PowerShell. Control. I can launch control because I login as local admin, right? Some exclusion done. So IP address is dot 23. Diba? If I remove the static IP, it will automatically request for dynamic IP. And the first IP in the pool is 100. Okay, so our expectation is to see that 100. Okay, so I'll show you before. IP is dot 23. Okay, and then we're gonna remove the static. Okay, so this is assigned as static. I'm gonna remove the static IP. The moment I hit enter, nag-hourglass siya, nagkaroon ng DORA. Discover, offer, no? Request. So anong magiging IP niya? Ano naging IP? Anybody? 100. Okay. Successful. Sorry, nakamute ako. So if you notice, 100 has been assigned dynamically, and if you go address leases, you will see 100 has been assigned to server 3. Okay, server 3. Yan, na? Server 3. So next topic natin is failover. So I'm gonna shut down the DHCP dito and let's see if we can still lease IP address. Okay, so before we do that, we need the failover. So we need to failover to server 2. So as of now, server 2 has no scope. So we need to fail over the scope, 10111 scope. Okay, so how do you fail over? Right click the scope, configure failover. Which scope you want to fail over? I selected all yung 10111, but 10.0.0 lumalabas dito. 10.1.1.1, okay? And who will be my partner server? Partner server will be server 2. Okay, add server. Okay, so add this one. Okay, so he's contacting server 2. Later on, that scope will be propagated here. Okay, still contacting, still contacting. Oh, done. Next. Failover. As of now, naka-load balance. I'll configure hot standby. Okay, so who will be the standby? So I will server 1 will be the active first. Standby will be server 2. Okay, so sorry, the question here, mode hot standby. Hot standby config, role of partner. Ito yung partner. So ano magiging role? I would like him to be a standby. Okay, meaning up and running, but not serving IP address unless I fail over. Clear ba? Clear? And then when do you want to fail back? I would like to fail back within 3 seconds. Okay. And then shared secret, what will be the password? One welcome. Okay. So papatayin natin server. Dapat first, it will propagate first. Ha? Propagate the subnet. Okay. Yan. Propagate ko na. So there should be a scope like address pool of 100 to 200. Okay. So ito yung standby. Refresh. Yun. Can you see it? Can you see that scope? Okay. Address pool and address pool. Okay, so I just propagated the scope 100 to 200. Okay, so let's test the failover. I'm gonna stop the IPv4. Wait, naka-blue. So refresh muna natin. Green, blue meaning replicating. Okay, you have to wait until it turns green. So I'm gonna stop the service na. So stop service, and then I'll show you from server 3. Where does it get the IP? So as of now, .21, okay? Who is serving IP address? See, .21. Once we fail over, it should be .22, okay? Okay, so I'm gonna stop the service, stop. Ayan, so DHCP server, stop. Okay, kung nga rin nag-crash, or for some reason, overwhelm, overperformance, namatay. No? let's check the server 2. Server 2. So when you refresh this one, this one, failover na siya, no? Nagsiserve na yan, naka-green. As you can see, it's green. It's taking over. Okay, taking over the scope. So if I'm gonna test it using server 3, the DHCP server should switch to .22. Okay, so I'm gonna release ipconfig/release. For example, I rebooted, no? Then renew. Nag-renew ako. So who do you think will serve? Who will give me IP address? Anybody?
Server 2 na.
Tama, server 2. Okay, so how do you verify?
Magiging 22 na yung ano, yung IP address.
Correct. Ayun, 22. Oh. We just created a highly resilient DHCP server. No? So we succeeded. Failover. Nag-failover siya. Pinatay natin. It failover. Okay? Nag-failover na siya. Yeah, go ahead.
Question, sir. Sir, ano yun? Walang delay yun, sir? As in,
Wala, instant eh. Nangyari instant.
instantaneous yun.
Oo.
So, mga users are hindi magiging maapektuhan.
Hindi maapektuhan, yes. Kasi we have dual DHCP server. Di ba? Pinatay na, we turned this off. Suddenly, ito nag-take over. Okay? So, I powered on, no? So, it will switch back automatically. So, when you do release renew, it should go back to the original DHCP server. So it's only one at a time. No?
Pwede rin mangyari yan, sir. Server, example, server 2 naman yung nag-down.
Yes.
O, okay lang naman yun, ano?
Oo, vice versa naman.
Versa.
Ayan, nag-switch over. Okay? Nag-switch back to the original DHCP server. Okay, galing working. Okay, next one is load balancing. So dito tayo sa click failover. As of now, hot standby failover yan. So just do edit and select load balancing. Okay. Load balancing. So delete the relationship. Okay. Create configure failover. Failover the whole scope. Add again server 2 as a load balancing server. So same with the DNS, no? Same different step pero same concepts. Okay, meron tayong 40 minutes to go. Extended na tayo. Instead of selecting kanina, a while ago, hot standby which load balancing, load balancing. So 50% will be in the first server, 50% will be on the second server. Simple concept, no? So ayan, load balance. Okay, success. It's doing load balancing. So how do you verify if it's doing load balancing? Open up DHCP. You can type DHCP mgmt pero dito na lang nga kasi matagal mag-command prompt. Okay, click on tools, go to DHCP. Saan yung DHCP dito?
Sir, question.
3 pala to, mali. 2 pala. So 2 pala. Nalito. Yun. Teka sandali. Load balancing ayan. I refresh. This one should be configured load balancing. Oh, you know. Load balance. Okay. So if first server logs in, will be served by first server, second computer logs in, second DHCP server. Okay. Third, fourth, fifth, second. Nagbabalance siya. It's doing load balancing. Okay. Any questions? Sige, go ahead.
Question po, sir. Pwede bang mag-failover pag iba yung IP address ng server? Kunwari yung third octet niya is kunwari 10.1.2.1.
Yeah. Split
Pwede ba
scope.
yung kahit iba yung third octet ng isang server?
Yeah, as long as you specify from the group of failover. Specify mo lang sa group ng failover. No? Let's say this one. Sa server 1, create a failover. You have to specify which subnet you want to failover. Okay, if you have 172, 192, then 10.10.10, just select that one. No? So select mo lang yan.
Okay, thank you po.
Pwede
Sir,
yan.
question.
Go ahead.
Sir, hindi ko sure kung tama yung tanong ko. Kasi
Okay.
dun sa nakita ko yung configuration sa Office, meron silang load balancer na nakalagay.
Mm.
Is it, pag sinabi bang load balancer, it has to be a DHCP server then a load balancer,
Hindi,
then separate load balancer.
there are many
Oh,
application of load balancer. One,
sir.
let's say VMware Horizon View. So yung mga desktop is being balanced, ano, to be distributed to different servers. So binabalance lang yan. So meron dong load balancer, kami load balancer namin na F5, no? F5
Yes, sir.
sa hardware. Yun. So binabalance yun. Another load balancer, HTTP, ito, HTTPS. So if you're in Citrix and you just type the fully qualified domain name, all requests will be balanced. Let's say you have 4 servers, siguro 25% on the first, second 25%, third 25%, balanced by using Citrix NetScaler. So maraming balancer kasi. So this one, the one we created, is just balancing of DHCP.
Tapos, sir. Thank you.
Ayan. Okay. So gumagana, working. Okay. So next is troubleshooting. So troubleshoot problems on the DHCP server. So first you have to identify what ports they're listening to. Ideally, DHCP, they should listen to 67. So how do you verify? Netstat, no? Netstat ka, no? Verify the IPsec exemption is added if you're dealing with IPsec deployment, and then verify the relay agent. And so how do you verify? No, normally people will go to event logs, no, but usually I go to server log because this is more specific. So sa interview question, let's say you're applying for a job, how do you investigate DHCP issue? So the answer done, first I check the DHCP server log. Okay, under system 32, because the event log is very general, not specific. Okay, I'll show you. Okay, yun ang ating troubleshooting. So you can just go to Windows, system 32, system 32, Windows, system 32. DHCP logs. Today is DHCP. Today is Saturday. DHCP. So it will show you Friday pa sa America yan. So Friday sa America, no? Kasi naka-American time format to. So just check. This is the logs for IPv4 and this is for IPv6. So if you open this one, it will give you a thorough definition or thorough description of what happened. So what do you mean by event ID 0? That means the log was started. What your concern is event ID number 10. Ibig sabihin, meaning a new IP was given to the client. Okay? 11, someone released renew. Remember, we did release renew a while ago. And we ipconfig/release server 3. So event ID 10 should show us a log relating to server 3. Okay? Let's see. Scroll down. Can you see this? Event ID number 10 today. We assign IP address. What IP address did we assign? 100. To which server? Server 3. Okay. Event 10, we perform release renew. And then event 10 na naman, we perform release renew. And remember, I stopped the DHCP. So you can see event ID 01, nag-stop. If you see 01, you have to start manually. No, let's say you see a problem like this one. So I'm gonna stop this. Let's say for some reason, your server 1 stop assigning IP. Ayan, stop. Okay. So first thing you need to do, so what you need to check the logs, no? So go to the log. Today's Friday, Friday, America. So the server, so we suspected that it's stopped. So hanapin mo. You're looking for event ID number 1. Log was stopped. Yeah. Can you see that? Oh, there you go. The DCP was stopped on January 28, 2022 at exactly 11:27 p.m. Okay, so that's the root cause. Nag-stop pala, no? So baka may hacker. There might be hacker who stop intentionally. No? So all you need to do is start back. Okay, but you found out when it was stopped. Okay, that's the most important thing. Kailan nag-stop, no? Okay, so that's how we troubleshoot, and so many more. Any question before we leave module
Sir?
11? Go ahead.
Question. Sir, di ba merong different kind ng protocol like UDP, UTP?
Mhm.
There are cases kasi na we encountered na you cannot even telnet,
Mhm.
yung ano, hindi mo siya
Yung
makita.
ports. Yeah.
Oo. Yes, sir. Can you help me on understanding that, sir? But may times na ganun. Depende sa protocol, hindi mo siya
Ibig
matelnet
sabihin,
man lang di maping.
ibig sabihin that port is not serving that IP address. That server. Ibig sabihin patay yung protocol. Patay yung protocol, no? Let's say wala kasi ang protocol na madedemo dito, pero usually you can examine using netstat. Okay, so netstat tayo. CMD, netstat, and this is a lot of stuff. No, you can netstat. You can see a lot of things. No? So, port 113 is for port 443 is for HTTPS. 113 is I think Active Directory. Port 389 used by Active Directory. So that's why you can be able to be authenticated. No, 389. Kung merong FTP, port 21 will be open. So you can FTP. So let's say you can same with telnet. No? If you wanna let's say you're doing remote control and you want to test if the port is open. Paano mag-test ng port open? So just go to you get signal tools, port testing tool. So as of now, we have a server. No, ang server IP is this one, and then I want to test if port 3351 is open. Check ko, check. Port 3351 is open on this server. Okay, I want to check if port 443 is open. Of course, hindi. So it will say close. So that's a port testing tool. Close, okay? Is port 80 open? There's no web server. So it will say close. So what you need to do is start the web server. Yun lang, no? 3352, is it open? Yes. No? It's listening to that port. 3361, it's listening to that port. So it's open and port open, okay? So
Sir,
that's
walang-
one testing tool.
Sorry.
Okay, go ahead.
Sir, walang pinipiling ano yan. I mean, mapa-local, I mean LAN, or external, kahit ano, sir.
Yeah. Whether external or internal, ports can be blocked and open. Yeah. Okay. Did I answer your question? Hello.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Okay. Okay, so okay. Are you okay? So stop na natin.